in that part of the universe we call heaven. When Lucifer challenged the right of God to exercise supreme authority, this world in the Garden of Eden. When we realize that our struggle is not with flesh and blood, but with the spiritual forces of darkness, who control all those in high places on this earth, forces of darkness, who control all those in high places on this earth, is weak and impractical, because it is based on the premise that lesser beings can be taught and wish to serve God voluntarily. Claims that beings of proven superior intelligence.
The vitally important thing for all Americans, is that our so-called leaders in Washington, the betrayers, are the betrayers. No, is that our so-called leaders in Washington are the betrayers, and that behind them are a comparatively small group of men whose sole objective is to enslave the whole world of humanity in their satanic plot of one world government. Are the betrayers, a comparatively small group of men whose sole objective is to enslave the whole world of humanity. Now, in order to give you a very clear picture of this satanic plot, the one world conspirators have seized upon that word liberal as a cover-up for their activities. It sounds so innocent and so humanitarian to be liberal. As a liberal is not in truth a red. Now then, this satanic plot was launched back in the 1760s when it first came into existence under the name of the Illuminati. The Illuminati. This Illuminati was organized by one Adam Weishaupt, Illuminati. Naturally, the Rothschilds financed that operation. And every war since then, beginning with the French Revolution, has been promoted by the Illuminati, operating under various names and guises. It was exposed and became too notorious. Weishaupt and his co-conspirators began to operate under various other names. In the United States. And its hierarchy, the masterminds in control of the CFR. I'll come back to all this later. There is a similar establishment of the Illuminati. There are similar secret Illuminati organizations in France, Germany, and other nations are infiltrated into every phase of the various nations' affairs, were and are masterminded and controlled by the internationalist bankers. UN is spawn of the Illuminati. News bulletins reveal the names of the original founders of the Illuminati and the Americanized names of their descendants in the press. Bulletin number 122, so weary of war that they'd be glad for any solution. So the Rothschild stooges set up what they call the Congress in Vienna. And at that meeting, they tried to create the first League of Nations, their first attempted one world government. Caught the stench of the plot. Illuminati was not set up to operate on a short-range basis. Normally, a conspirator of any type enters into a conspiracy with the expectation of achieving his objective during his own lifetime. But that was not the case with the Illuminati. True, they hoped to accomplish their objective during their lifetime. But, paraphrasing, the show must go on. It takes scores of years, or even centuries. They have dedicated their descendants to keep the pot boiling until, they hope, the conspiracy is achieved. They hope the conspiracy is achieved. Now let's go back to the birth of the Illuminati. Adam Weishaupt was a Jesuit-trained professor of canon law. It was in 1770 that the professional moneylenders, the then recently organized, so named by Jesus Christ, ultimate world domination, so they could impose the Luciferian ideology upon what would remain of the human race. They could impose the Luciferian ideology upon what would remain of the human race after the final social cataclysm by use of satanic despotism. Weishaupt completed his task May 1st, 1776. May 1st, 1776. May 1st, 1776. 1776. That Weishaupt completed his plan and officially organized the Illuminati to put the plan into execution. Human cattle and other issues. Incidents provided which would cause them to fight and weaken themselves. And incidents provided which would cause them to fight and weaken themselves. And at this point, let me stress a prime feature of the Illuminati plans in order to divert suspicions from themselves. Himself. Now, just why did the conspirators choose the word Illuminati for their satanic organization? In order to divert suspicions from themselves. If you think this is far-fetched, they permitted Hitler, a liberal socialist himself. Now, just why did the conspirators choose the word Illuminati for their satanic organization? Weishaupt himself said that the word is derived from Lucifer and means holders of the light. Financed, I repeat, recruited some 2,000 paid followers. These included the most intelligent men in the fields of arts and letters, education, the sciences, finance, and industry, Masonic lodges, to be their secret headquarters, and I again repeat, Illuminati for their... Use monetary and sex bribery to obtain control of men already in high places in the various levels of all governments and other fields of endeavor. Once influential persons, themselves and loved members of their family. Do you realize how many present top officials in our federal government in Washington are controlled in just that way? Do you realize how many homosexuals in our State Department, the Pentagon, all federal agencies, even in the White House? Number two, Illuminati, I told to the American people. His entire voting record spells Illuminati. And brains have the right to rule those less gifted on the ground that the masses don't know what is best for them physically, mentally, and spiritually. Today, there are 3 special Illuminati schools. Germany. Number 3, trapped into coming under the control of the Illuminati, were to be used as agents and placed behind the scenes of all governments as experts and specialists, So they would advise the top executives to adopt policies which would, in the long run, serve the secret plans of the Illuminati one-world conspiracy. Do you know how many such men operate in our government at this very time? Do you know how many such men operate in our government at this very time? Rusk, McNamara, Hubert Humphrey, Fulbright, Kuchel, and go on and on and on, on and on and on, on and on and on. Vital directive in Weishaupt's plan, so that all news and information could be slanted. Government has the right to lie to the people. Controlled government had the power to lie to and be believed by the brainwashed American people. Illuminati. Weishaupt ordered the Illuminati to foment the colonial wars, including our Revolutionary War. He scheduled the French Revolution to start in 1789. Possession of evidence which proved the existence of the Illuminati. It was in 1874 that Weishaupt issued his orders for the French Revolution. A German writer named Zwack put it into book form. A copy of this book was sent to the Illuminists in France, headed by Robespierre, whom Weishaupt had delegated to foment the French Revolution, a conspiracy by which the Illuminati planned to use wars and revolutions. But the power of the Illuminati, Illuminati became a dirty word. And at the same time, Weishaupt ordered Illuminists to infiltrate into the lodges of Blue Masonry, form their own secret societies within all secret societies, and form their own secret societies within all secret societies, and form their own secret societies within all secret societies, and form their own secret societies within all secret societies, and form their own secret societies within all secret societies, and form their own secret societies within all secret societies, and form their own secret societies within all secret societies. Those who form their own secret societies within all secret societies. Those whose conduct proved they had defected from God, and those whose conduct proved they had defected from God, were initiated into the Illuminati, were initiated into the Illuminati. The lie that the objective of the Illuminati was to create a benevolent dictatorship. The objective of the Illuminati was to create a benevolent dictatorship. Objective of the Illuminati was to create a benevolent dictatorship. Revised conspiracy to ignoring the warnings given them. The revolution broke out in 1789 as scheduled by Weishaupt. Grisly gimmick to make him the God-man. All the Illuminati masterminds. A grisly gimmick. Persecuting Jews and Negroes. At that time, nobody seemed to realize that it was a propaganda play. Propaganda was well wrapped up, and the truly great entertainment, it was that cleverly written. The propaganda was well wrapped up, and the truly great entertainment, author, producer, and chosen Broadway celebrities. There I met George Bernard Shaw. He changed his name to Karl Marx. He paid much attention to what he suspected the propaganda in the writings of those with the force of a hydrogen bomb. Suddenly hit me with the force of a hydrogen bomb when a newspaper clipping of an item published by the Washington D. in May 1957. All the Illuminati masterminds, best is history, internationalist bankers. It's a necessary sacrifice. A necessary sacrifice. So their Illuminati world plot, slaughter of the men in the wars that followed, was a similar necessary sacrifice. Grisly detail, grisly detail, grisly detail. Hence I sought more proof, and I found it. Published in 1935 by the Illuminati blueprints for world revolution, issued by Weishaupt and later by Albert Pike. A little later, I will provide that proof. A little later, I will provide that proof that will remove even a remote doubt. A little later was created by those masterminds, capitalists, if you will note, that Schiff, the Warburgs, and the Rothschilds planned and financed the entire Russian Revolution. Trotsky and Stalin took their orders directly from Schiff and the other capitalists whom they supposedly are fighting, prohibiting Christian prayers and Christmas carols in our schools. Why Kennedy did likewise. And can you see why Johnson and 66 senators, which hatred for them, still did not provide a cause for war. Thereupon Hitler was incited. Then came his pact with Stalin, whose demands were rejected. Then came his pact with Stalin, but Hitler disregarded all that. He entered into a pact with Stalin while Stalin marched to the Illuminati. Mastermind saw to that. Hitler launched a blitzkrieg of the Illuminati. Mastermind saw to that. Blitzkrieg. And what a horrible war it was. All of the American people hailed this foul outfit as a holy of holies, and they found it in a little inconspicuous and repulsive little man who called himself Adolf Hitler. Traitors who aid and abet our enemies. Traitors who touch Illuminati tools as Mark will completely unmask all the leaders in Washington. Unmask all the leaders in Washington and the Illuminati and all their affiliations and affiliates as traitors carrying out the Illuminati plot, assembled in secret conclave, owned by J.P. Morgan, John D. Rockefeller, Colonel House, Senator Nelson Aldrich, Schiff, Stillman and Vanderlip of the New York National City Bank, the members of the hierarchy of the Illuminati's great conspiracy. Senator Aldrich was the stooge who was to railroad it through Congress. But their man would promptly signed it, and the federal... That heinous act of treason, 1913, 2 days before Christmas, delivered the destiny of our nation into the hands of two aliens is owned by the member banks. And the heads of the member banks are all members of the hierarchy of the great Illuminati conspiracy, known today as... You're in for another very sad shock. It would be only for the duration of the war. Such a charlatan. I say again and again and again that I will never send American boys to fight on foreign soil. But wait. You ain't heard nothing yet. Common herd, you and me. Common herd, you and me. Rob the earnings only of the common herd, you and me. It was not intended to even touch the huge incomes of the Illuminati gang, the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, the Lehmans, and all the other conspirators, all the chaos and rioting all over the country. The Ford Foundation finances the job for the Illuminati great conspiracy, paid every year from the earnings of the common herd, you and me, used for. Well, for one thing, there's the foreign aid gimmick. Hundreds of jet planes to you and to me, to your children and their children. They just didn't have even an inkling. It was the Illuminati-controlled mass communications media that kept and is keeping our people naive and stupid and unaware of the treason what George Washington and traitors in Washington motion their next and what they hoped would be their final steps to achieve their one-world government.
It caused our first parents to defect from God, and it tells God's plan for the rule of the universe being established on this earth. Christ came to earth when the conspiracy reached the stage. He also called the father of lies. But we were being bound tighter and tighter, tighter and tighter as the years rolled by. Adam Weishaupt, a Jesuit professor, so they could impose the Luciferian ideology on what remained of the human race. The 1st, 1776. And required the destruction of all existing governments. When Weishaupt was outlawed by his government, Thomas Jefferson became one of his strongest defenders. Thomas Jefferson infiltrated the Illuminati into the newly organized lodges of the Scottish Rite in New England. And in 1789, John Robinson, the influence Illuminism was having on American politics. It is to our shame that we allow the power of those who direct the Luciferian conspiracy against God and man to prevent such outstanding events of history from being taught in our public schools. Being taught in our public schools. In 1834, in head of the Luciferian priesthood, he established 3 supreme councils, the agents of the Illuminati, this devilish purpose. These are the true facts. We do more than acknowledge it. We proclaim it.
intimidate you, but question is, when will the people wake up?
We pray that each and every one of you will do his very best to promote distribution of these tapes. Now you may wonder why Fagan did not mention the latest front group of the United Nations, the Trilateral Commission. It was not
1907. And Ward's job was to teach bright young men to become so-called ministers of Christ. How to very subtly and craftily preach to their congregations that the entire story of Christ is a myth, to cast doubts about the Virgin Mary. I don't think so. Your contributions are helping the Illuminati's plot. Plus you... minority groups, breakers, mass communications, media, and the critics in Washington. Perhaps this record will do it. I pray to him to inspire you, all of you, to spread this story, all of you, to spread this story who have their sons' lives at stake. With this record, I have provided you with the weapon that will destroy the monster. Get a copy of it into every American home. Into every American home. Get a copy of it into every American home.
You have just listened to the Illuminati.